Welcome to yet another episode of After I Leave the RoW Arena. I have to tell you about it. Now, I can't lie to you guys. This was supposed to actually have been yesterday, but like I helped with the show. I helped with the show. My hair's messed up because I just woke up and I apologize for that. But I helped with the show and I actually had to go to work during the show, so I had to leave the show early, and that's the reason why I left. Okay, so basically my schedule went: woke up, helped with the road show, went to work, got home, went to sleep. That's literally like all that was like literally back to back to back to back to back. Yes, I have a job again and I feel really good about it. But all in all, the show, from what I saw, the show was actually really great. I got a chance to talk. I don't know what it is, but I love the Australian people. Like that much more now. I got a chance to meet EC Brownie. I got a chance to meet Liam and Liam and Kai and oh my god, I forgot the other two already. I can't stand myself. My memory is so terrible. But yeah, got a chance to interact with these guys. They were really cool. It was always cool to like meet some of the wrestlers. It's always cool to kind of also, if you notice, I work near like building materials, so I got like dust on me and stuff. But yeah, it was a good show. As always, I don't know. Like, I'm starting to think that RoW is starting to make more shows throughout the month, which means I'll probably be like able, like if I can anyway, I'll probably be able to help out with more shows. And since I got a job again, I'll be able to pay to get back into training. So, like I said, things are. I want to believe that things are looking up, but it's just simply a matter of just. Oh, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm going off of like a few hours of sleep here. So if I start to sound scattered, just let me know. But yeah, as always, good show, great day at work. Went back home, did everything I needed to do. But like now that I got you guys, but now that I'm like here with y'all, I figured that was a good time to like sort of talk about like certain things that are happening right now in professional wrestling that I just feel like definitely is worth rambling about. And that is the indies. One thing I kind of don't, my least favorite thing to hear in professional wrestling internet fan culture, whatever you want to call it, is they always say, "Oh, that person did all that for a handshake and a hot dog," or "that person did all that for a bowl of nachos and some weed," or something like that. I hate it when wrestling fans say stuff like that because of the fact that they always say that when they see a humongous spot being done in the indies. That because like if that same spot were to have been done in professional wrestling, it's just that same spot were to be done in professional wrestling. Wrestling fans would probably like think it was just like this sort of glorious, magnificent thing. Of course I'm referring to the nail spot. Yeah, I know I'm late to the whole ball game with that, but I like to wait for things to die down before I talk about it because it's like because when it gets hot, everybody has a thing to say about it, and it just feels like bandwagon chasing. But like with me, I'm trying my best to just sort of. I want to talk about this sooner, but I didn't want to look like I was chasing a bandwagon with somebody else. Because first thing I just want to go ahead and talk about real quick is everybody's chiming in about that spot, but what a lot of people don't realize is like if you watched CZW back in like 2010. I'm throwing out a random year here, but like once upon a time in CZW, John Zandig actually suspended himself from the ceiling with hooks in both his chest and his back, and he looked like that was like they like if you ever open up ever open up a bag of chips, that's how it looked, and he's like bleeding the entire time, and he's shaking and shivering up there. It's really 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 sick, and that's probably the sickest thing I think I ever seen in professional wrestling as far as like spots like that. But at CZW, that was just one of the few times that they actually did do certain things. There was a lot of bloodletting back in old school professional wrestling. And for some of those wrestlers in that genre of wrestling, when that genre started to slowly get tamer and slowly start to get like more and more when it started to get like a little bit when it started to settle down, some of the older wrestlers who appreciated that style kept doing it. John Moxley is one of those wrestlers. So it's like my whole thing is that like you got people out here like going, why would they make him do that? He did it on his own. It's like, well, why did he do that? Probably because he likes crazy spots like that. Like I feel like you guys, it's starting to like it's the way that these circles talk about professional wrestling now, it's starting to kind of make sense who is a wrestling fan and who's just somebody who just like who just there's being a wrestling fan and then there's watching wrestling. And I feel like we're starting to see the difference between the two. And it's becoming too apparent that there's just too many people out there who's just watching wrestling without being a fan of it, so they don't really know or care what's going on. They just want to say something is bad because they feel like something is bad. Like, I get it 100%. I'm not going to tell somebody what to like. I'm not going to tell somebody what to enjoy. But if you were a fan of John Moxley, you would know that he likes doing crazy stuff like that. He doesn't mind bleeding. We've seen it. But but also another thing too is another reason why I don't like this spot. Another reason why I don't really like the discourse about that spot is because too many fans are like trying to basically challenge wrestlers when they have their own perspectives about the spot. Once again, RVD chimed in, and some wrestling fan basically said something to the effect of, "Well, you worked at ECW, so what do you know?" And it's like, when have we ever seen RVD bleed? Think about it. How often have you seen RVD bleed in comparison to, like, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Just Incredible? I don't know, maybe one, Pitbull one. All I'm saying is that, like, it's really easy to just like forget certain things when it comes to professional wrestling, and I just don't like this idea of wrestling fans trying to trying to big boy their expertise into professional wrestlers' perspectives. Because at the end of the day, you're just a fan. You're just a fan who watched the thing, talking to somebody who was actually there. I'm not the biggest Hulk Hogan fan, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna talk to Hulk Hogan about wrestling like I've been wrestling longer than he has. You see what I'm saying? And I say this as somebody who is not a fan of Hulk Hogan, and I'm pretty sure he's not a fan of me. I need to do something about my elbows. But yeah, that was just something that I wanted to like kind of ramble about a little bit, because it does feel like it does. There's this really big like back in the day, and I hate to say this, I hate to sound old and I hate to talk like I'm an old man, but there was once upon a time where it was impossible to find other wrestling out there. You had to go through, you had to look for tapes. You had to stream off of these torrent websites. You had to like back in it, like it was like you had to like find DVDs, and some people the DVDs would be like so messed up that some people would just literally leave DVDs on the ground somewhere. So you would like every so often at random you'll come across a random professional wrestling DVD of a company that was around like back in the day. It used to be impossible to find professional wrestling. So the only professional wrestling out there at the time was a professional wrestling that was on television, which was I think it was WWE, HWA. I remember those AWA, and I remember like bits and pieces of IWA Puerto Rico. But and if it was like, and I can't stress enough, this was it for a while. Then TNA came in, and wrestling fans. TNA came in and wrestling fans was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be the company that's gonna take down WWE." And then when it wasn't, it's like, "Oh well, TNA sucks now." Man, now it's like, but now we are in this era where you have like all of this wrestling, all of these companies, all of this stuff, and like wrestling fans are getting so spoiled that they're just basically saying wrestling in its entirety sucks because it's not WWE, and that's the vibe I'm getting. And that's the vibe that I don't want to have, and that's the vibe that I'm tired of seeing. I'm tired of seeing this lack of creativity from a wrestling. I'm tired of seeing the lack of creativity from a wrestling fan base who's always quick to say something sucks instead of trying to find ways to improve things. And almost every single time they're improved, because if you ask a wrestling fan how do you want to improve a wrestler, they're going to say turn them heel, and that's it. But basically saying make them frown a lot, change their wardrobe, and have them walk slowly to somber music. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's their answer to every problem. So I'm rambling, but I'm just saying that this idea, like we're starting to be given more wrestling. We're starting to be given more. We're being given more, and some people are getting really appreciative. And I can assure you that wrestling is only going to get bigger. It's only going to get more. It's only going to get bigger, and it's only going to get like better. And you'll have a fan base who is heck bent on basically saying, "No, it isn't because I don't like it." And that's me rambling. I'm tired. I'm like I said, I'm working off of sleep. So if nothing I said makes sense, just know I went to the Reality of Wrestling show. It was amazing. I'm not gonna tell you guys anything that happened in it. You guys are gonna have to watch do TitleMatchWrestling.com to find out. And I work nights now, so I'm delirious. In the meantime, we'll talk later. Here's to hoping that I'm start training again soon, and that's it. I'm gonna go take a nap or something.